Hello, I'm going to tell you about new features of the Power Pack which have been added to its new version 1.5.7. The first one is the alphabetical sorting the variables in the variables panel. The variables will be displayed here when we run the project in a debug mode. In order to show you how it works, I place a breakpoint to one of the states. When the debugger comes to this state, all variables get displayed in the variables panel in the alphabetical order. The second feature is the opportunity to export and import separate graphs. For example, here the first graph is opened and I want to export it. To export a graph means to save it to the computer in the XML format. So in the Graph Explorer, select a graph and press the Export Graph button situated at the top of the Graph Explorer. You will be asked to choose a place where to save the graph. Enter the name of the file and press Save. To import this graph to the project, use the Import Graph button. Select the graph, press Open. Here you can see that the graph has been added and it has a name like Imported First Graph. Besides, you can add this graph to any category. For example, let us add it to another category. Open it, press Import Graph, and the graph will be imported. The next feature is the ability to jump to a graph from the states which include sub and sub-prefix comments. In earlier versions, this feature was implemented for subgraph states, and now it works also for graphs. Let us see how it works. Press the graph with the sub comment. Select Jump to Graph, or select the graph and press the button Jump to Graph at the top of the workspace. You can see that we have jumped to this graph. New version of the Power Pack provides an opportunity of adding resources from the file system of your computer. To add a resource file, press the Add Resource State button or use the contextual menu. Select the resource. For example, I want to add an image. Press Open. The resource will be added to the graph. And the last feature which has been added to the new version of Power Pack is the Load Data function. This function provides the opportunity of selecting a file and returns the selected file content. For example, let us create a new state and load a file content to a variable. Write the load data function, enter the label for the dialog window. You can also add the file extension as a parameter. For example, we want to upload only XML files. This function can result in two different ways. On success, the content of the file will be stored to the variable. If some error occurs, the graph goes to the state error. Let us run it in a debug mode. The dialog window has appeared, where we are offered to select a file. The graph goes to the state success. Look at the variables panel and see that there is a variable file which stores an XML file. At the bottom of the variables panel you can see the content of this XML file. These are all new features for now. Thank you for attention.